highest aspiration, it seems. It's quite clear now, and I actually was listening back to an interview that Shane Moss did when this commission was first proposed, and I mean, he was making the point back then very trenchantly that he didn't have any faith whatsoever in it. That seemed to be premature at that stage because he was so dismissive, but the more you heard of these exchanges during the week, the more you could see the point that he was making, that this was just going to become a political circus.
Ivana Bacic, it seems that you primarily are at fault or to blame for this leader of the Labour Party in the challenge. You didn't line up the people to deliver what was planned.
Well, I do very much regret what happened, clearly, but I would say this, that the committee, there was an understanding as we went into the Committee of Selection last week that there would be one government and one non-government centre appointed to the inquiry. And I should say this, that reflects the balance of membership in the Senate. The government is not a majority in the Senate, it is 50.
Yeah, but when you met it up, surely you should have accepted the outcome.
No, the understanding was that.
You didn't deliver your people to make it happen.
Well, even if we had heard everybody present at that Committee of Selection, the government does not have a majority on the Committee of Selection. It was 6-5 against the government on that. The 3 people who were in it weren't there were paired. I think Susan O'Keefe's been unfairly scapegoated because even if she had been there, the government wouldn't have had the majority. But, that shouldn't have mattered. We understood going into the meeting that there was no issue about Susan O'Keefe's nomination. There was an issue about who would be the non-government member of the Senate. That was whether it was Sean Barrett or Mark Meyerton.
And we were so furious with you.
Just to say, Sean, that we had understood that would be the case. Now, we were taken back to that. I actually think Senator Dennis O'Donoghue, as the chair of the committee, and Fianna Fáil senator, he put it very fairly yesterday in the Senate when he said the people on the committee voted in a way he had not anticipated. That's exactly what happened, but we hadn't anticipated that.
You're making it sound like you personally are entirely...
No, I do take responsibility for not, and clearly, we could have adjourned the meeting. Indeed, some of us looked for that at the time, and, I'm sorry it happened the way it did, and I do take responsibility for that. But I think, the main thing now is to ensure that the committee does its work. And I should say this, that nobody had objected in the door to the fact that there's a government majority in the door. There's 7 members, just to finish, the Senate representation is now 2-2, 2 government, 2 non-government. It's the Dáil representation that is 4-3 in favour of the government. And that, again, reflects the representation of members in the Dáil. There was no objection to that in the Dáil when the members were chosen. And I think the 11 members of the committee now have a duty to act impartially and independently. I have no doubt they will. And I really
but you couldn't be sure that they would do that when you didn't have the majority.
I was very regretful that there would be 9 that were without any gender balance on that. And I think it would have been awful not to have somebody with the experience of Susan O'Keefe and investigative journalism. I think now we've 11.
You're on this committee now as a result of what Aidan Gilmore described as a stroke.
Yeah, it's very regrettable language, but very much consistent with the government's line on this during the week. Just to explain, I think from the public's perspective, they just want to see people get on with work. I mean, I'm sick of politics descending into art. I mean, I want to do a bit of work. But just on the issue of the committee and its procedures last week, and indeed Dennis O'Donoghue also put this on the record yesterday, was that the leader of the House, effectively, Maurice Cummins, determined when the meeting would take place. And when it was clear who was in the room, the lack of numbers for the government side, it was proposed by Paul Claflin, the government whip, that an adjournment would be made, to which Dennis O'Donoghue acceded to that wish to be overruled by the Fine Gael leader of the Senate, Maurice Cummins, who said, no, we will proceed as we are now. And that's what happened. So the democratic process took its position. I was always a Fianna Fáil nominee on it. One thing Ivana is seeking to change, and it's not about questioning the calibre of any of the 9 or indeed who